Yo, it's Wednesday, and normally, like on Wednesdays, I would watch AEW wrestling. I know it's fake. I like the competition. It's very interesting. The promos are very interesting. But did you hear about something outside of the world of wrestling that's huge? Two juggernauts are going at it. It's Dr. Umar Johnson
I
and
saw that.
Kevin
I saw
Samuels.
that. Who do you think will win in a fight?
Uh, I feel like Kevin Samuels would win in a fight because he's more organized. I feel like he would know some sort of martial arts.
I've never
I
seen
feel like
an
every nigga
organization.
alive uses what's that? Emotion, and they're like, it's Dr. Umar. Emotion gets you killed.
Emotion.
Like, I'm sorry.
Emotion.
You gotta think.
I feel like Kevin Samuels is small and Dr. Umar is big, and that's just all I'm basing myself. I've never heard organization used like that.
Yeah, because
When I
Bruce
heard
Lee's not a
organization,
thing.
I literally pictured that man pulling out a pocket protector.
Bruce Lee's not a thing. He's not
I wouldn't call Bruce
organized.
Lee particularly organized. I've never heard Bruce Lee described as organized.
Yeah, well,
Like,
you know,
you know,
that's
methodical.
what,
But now you're like, oh wow, he's a really organized fighter. Look at the
yeah,
way
you might,
it was organized that we went with, and I agree with
you
you.
heard it here first.
Kevin Samuels
I
is
say that
organized.
Bruce Lee is organized. A lot of smaller fighters are organized. Like Floyd Mayweather, organized. I want to hear that
Okay, we're
on
gonna
the
make this a
fighting
thing.
commentary
We're gonna
now.
make this a thing. When
We're
you
gonna
are a
make it a
smaller
thing.
fighter that really handles your business well, you're organized. You're an organized fighter. They're like, look at that man's organizational skills.
This organizational skills is what keeps him going. Who do you think, though? You posed the question to me. Who do you think's gonna take it in the showdown for black stupidity?
Umar. Oh, if we're talking, wait, if we're talking about fist fighting, Umar. If we're talking about like
It's
one,
fighting though. Nobody's like you gotta fight with your fit. Like what the fuck is that, nigga? It's fighting. Boxing.
okay. I'm sorry. If we're just talking about fighting, I don't know what they're gonna use in a fight. I don't care what it is. I don't know why y'all are acting like that. First of all, Dr. Umar fights dirty. I know this. I don't know it, but I know it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's that. Second of all, if we're talking about just online fighting, which is what I know is going to happen, I am going to lean towards Kevin Samuels because he's the new guy. And I did like watching the split because I feel like the people that follow Dr. Umar and the people that follow Kevin Samuels, they're not a perfect circle, but they're an eclipse. And you can feel the split. Like they was like, oh, wait a minute. Like our dads are fighting. I I don't know which one to go with. Like on one hand, I don't like women. But on the other hand, I don't like gay people. And I don't know which way to go. And I know somebody at home was wrestling with that today. And I just find that hilarious that I'm like, and all I can think about is, man, your actual father failed you because you should not go on the internet and be following two random dudes that just picked up a phone and you know what? Never mind. Before this random
before we go too deep into this and talk about the problems that are in our culture, the black culture, we want to be positive and talk about us being black and lovely as ever. However, I stay Houston down to my socks. It's another episode of In My Humble Opinion podcast. I'm your host, Avery, like a very nice guy, also known as Avery Zadius. You can find me at Avery Zadius on all socials. You can also find me as Vince McMahon's on all socials as well. I like Vince McMahon's better. You could go over there. There's more stuff over there. Avery Zadius is whatever. I don't know. It's however I'm feeling that day. But also, you could find our other host, my brother over here, Jess Devine.
Real quick, are you gonna do a constant name change like Diddy? Because Diddy just asked.
Oh yeah, I probably will. I'm probably gonna change.
I like it because Diddy just asked us to call him something new the other day. We're not gonna do it, but I like the effort. I like when you come out and you're just like, "Hey, man, call me Professor Lovejoy. Like,
you know,
you
Professor Lovejoy.
You just got to do it. Like,
but yes, that's Just Devon, ladies and gentlemen. Just Devon. You can find him at Just Devon on Twitter and as Dr. Douglas on Instagram. You can find both of us together as family, as In My Humble Opinion podcast at My Humble O on all socials. Okay. And you could also find us on the YouTubes at In My Humble Opinion podcast. And we're just happy to have you guys here. Happy that you're listening, happy that you're looking, happy that you're giving us any type of your day. And I want to make sure that you guys are having a great day. And one of the greatest things that is about this day is we have a returning guest. All right. We've been doing this for a while. And, sometimes we do have some returning guests. We just interviewed Robert Hodge, and he goes, "I've never seen a returning guest." And I want to go, "Well, you've never seen the show, nigga." I was like, "What are we talking about?" Joe Beasley's been on here thrice.
I said thrice.
What are we talking about here, guys? But once again, like I said, we got a returning guest. He's actually real good people. When the first time that we actually got to see him, like we started doing podcasting and, just going to a lot of events. We went to a Bounce and Turn, and we were, just looking at the artists on the stage. And one of these gentlemen that was on the stage was a gentleman by the name of Dende, a soft-spoken gentleman when he introduced himself, but then he started belling out lovely melodies and spitfire raps that kept the crowd involved. All right. So I'm looking at it. I'm chilling. It's me. Y'all know how I party. I'm drinking. I'm probably high. I'm chilling. And my brother turns to me and he goes, "This kid's got it." And I go, "Push on, nigga. What are you talking about?"
Why?
I'm being honest. I was like, whatever, nigga. All right.
I did say that, but you just made me sound like I'm like a 1920s movie executive. Like,
you did. You had a hat.
This kid.
You had on a full suit with the big lapels. It was gray, and you was like, "This kid's got it." And I had on a wife beater. I had a 40. I had a cigarette in my mouth and in my ear. I was like, "Push on, nigga. What are you talking about?" Like, so, you know what I'm saying? I was wrong. The nigga got it. The nigga definitely got it. My brother got a chance to see him again at Axelrad and approached him and was like, "Yo, you want to do this podcast?" Dude was cool about it. He was like, "Yeah." By the time we got to really talk to him and get to know him, Dende, cool ass nigga, actually, the type of music that I actually really listen to, and a very creative individual that, you see something from like rappers, or you put people in a box of like, I hate when people say just rapper. Now, being a rapper is very prestigious. All right. You put words together, you rhyme things. It's very hard to do. It's not Dr. Seuss. Okay. He's able to sing, he's able to rap. He is an artist. Okay. One thing about him, he's an artist, he's a personality. He does a lot of things that you can't just put a box on. All right. Now he has a podcast as well called the Dende Hour. All right. It's streaming in your phone. You can see it on YouTube. He has he's streaming as well, playing video games. I've seen him, what was it, Pokemon and music? Yeah. Really, my G? Pokemon. I like that. Okay. Also, now another thing. You see how prolific artists make movies that have to do with their music. Dende's adopted this as well with movies like Socially Distant in your phone as well, too, that you can see on YouTube. But the one that really caught a lot of people's attention is In Case You Forgot I'm Black. And before we get to it, I want to say, Dende, I refused to watch it because I knew it had the George Floyd bits inside of there, and I did not want to see that at all. That's why I know you invited me to the show. That's why I didn't show up. I didn't want to see that. It brings up a lot of feelings. I watched it. The way that you put it together, it brought up a lot of feelings. but they were put into an area that makes so much sense. Once again, man, hey, this guy here, like my brother says, in his 1920s ness with his suit and his hat, this kid's got it. Dende, also Dende Kami-sama. Dende, ladies and gentlemen, Dende.
Thank you.
How's it going?
I'm good. That was a great introduction. Y'all made me sound way cooler than I am. I'm a
I mean, you
nerd.
cool as shit.
Since the last time, and he's talked about a lot in the introduction. Since the last time we saw you, let's see here. You've led protests.
Mm-hmm.
You've come out with an album, or you're getting ready to come out with another album.
Yes,
you
sir.
produced and written and created a movie, which I mean, you won a competition on that, I believe, to even get the money together to put that together. You, I don't know if this is true or not, but it looks like that way. So this is how I'm going to make it, and now it's factually accurate. You scared Art Acevedo out of town. Some kind of way. I mean, all I know is he was tweeting Art, and Art wasn't listening, and then Art had to listen, and then all of a sudden he changed his job. So a lot has happened over this last over the pandemic, because we were talking to you at the beginning, right around George Floyd.
Yes,
We
sir.
interviewed you and Manny, and I think we interviewed you and Manny and Adria, Attorney McKnight, like back to back. So how you feeling?
Sometimes overwhelmed, sometimes just cooling. Like right now I'm cooling. All that protest stuff started like kind of draining me. So I tried to like find a better way to like focus that energy and still be protesting, which is why I made that short film. And it took me a very long time to even be able to make it because I didn't have the funding to make it. But eventually, like you said, I won that competition, was able to like get the funding for it. But yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm just trying to like actually, like behind me, you see there's a list. I'm actually listing out the stuff I have to do so I don't get stressed out every day. And I'm just trying to take care of my body now because I wasn't doing it when the pandemic started. And I'm just trying to take it day by day.
Okay. I mean, people don't talk about that a lot. It just getting involved in the protest. I'm not gonna lie, I was tired watching you. Like, I came out to a few things. We did the attorney watch, and we were out there a couple of times, but looking at you and McKnight every night, I was like, yo, like if y'all need help, like a Cash App or something like that, but I gotta go to sleep. But you know, it does wear on you a lot. Talk about that shift. Like what was the point where you were like, all right, I gotta try out something because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to do anything.
It was at the point where we were out there protesting, and then we were still seeing that nobody actually really cared. Like to the like one, I remember one day we protested all day, and then the next day, like I was out there passing out people's rights and like telling them they need to tune into the city hall meetings because they were like over Zoom and they were like call-ins and you could speak. And it was the day before they passed the budget for 2021. And we were telling everybody to call in, and then we sat in that call, and I listened to a couple, like over 100 people say back to back to back, we don't want y'all to pass this bill. At least give us like time to, so where people actually know what's in this bill. Because basically the budget was allotting for $1 billion for the Houston Police Department for 2021, while people were in the streets yelling that we wanted to defund the police and move some of the funds that are going to them having like riot gear and tanks and smoke guns and illegal gases that you can't use in war, but you can use on civilians, and give it to like social programs. And basically then we went out the next morning, we were outside City Hall protesting while they were voting on it inside. And every single one of the City Hall chair people voted yes to the bill, except for, damn, what is her name?
She's an A-Leaf.
Miss is it Mallard? No.
I don't. I know she is from A-Leaf, and I know exactly because she was the only one.
Yeah, she's the only one. She's the only one that voted no to it, and she also had amendments that she proposed that they voted no to, which was like instead of police going to to mental health calls, they would send out a social worker and an EMT in an unmarked vehicle and try to de-escalate the situation.
Which is wild because at that time, a lot of the defund the police side was presented as like they are putting forth these really radical ideas, and it was like
it wasn't.
We're just gonna take the money that you would have normally given, like because and now we're seeing a pushback. Like NYC had that ridiculous police robot dog.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the point of this? And now that program got squashed, and then you see them like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna send mental health professionals to calls
to deal with mental calls.
And you're like,
and they're like, no.
You didn't have to buy $1 billion dog to do that first.
No, and it's just like at that point, I was just feeling like we were just yelling at a wall. And I was like, okay, well, how else can we get to these people? Because they're not listening to us in the streets. We didn't even really destroy anything, but they made it seem like we did.
Yeah.
So I just like, I felt myself just being angry every day, which I'm not an angry person. People know, like, I do, like, that's kind of what I was doing on Twitter, which is being angry.
Yeah.
And it was leaking into my real, like, life. And I just kind of felt like bogged down to that mentality of just being mad and wanting to yell and wanting to scream. And I just felt like I needed to pivot and try to do it in another way. So like they booked me, which was crazy. They booked me for the Get Out and Vote to go. It was like the first drive-in voting in Houston, like ever. And they booked me to open for the Sufferers and Bum B. And they did it like 2 days before. And I was like, oh, these people don't know who they just booked. Because they don't know I'm about to act the ass. Like I'm about to go up there and I'm gonna do all my songs and I'm gonna do dance last and I'm gonna talk my shit. And I went up there and I was like, oh, they're all recording. National Geographic is here. All the news stations are here. I'm gonna talk shit about our police force gassing people and putting them in cages because that's what happened during the protests. And passing a budget that we told them not to. And I'm gonna talk my shit about Chief Acevedo. And the next day when I shared that video, that's when he started responding to me. I was because he was responding to me at first and then he just stopped completely. And then I posted that and they saw that it was on the news and he was like, oh, I got to respond to this again.
That's really what it felt like. I mean, every time he wasn't talking to you, then you ran up on him at one of the protests and talked to him in front of a bunch of cameras. And then he started talking to you. And then he stopped talking to you. And then, of course, the performance, and then he started talking to you again. I remember seeing he agreed to do an interview with you
multiple times. I talked to him on the phone. A couple times.
How did that go? How did that phone call go?
He seemed like he was trying to intimidate me at first, and I was just like, I'm not fucking scared of this guy. I was like, I have a podcast, and I would love to have you on. We can do it over Zoom. We can do it in person, however you want. He was like, well, you can come up to the station. We could do it. I was like, sure. Tell me when. He was like, well, I have to go to a bunch of funerals like this week. I was like, somebody's always dying in your. Sorry, but like for real, like he was at one point. There was one day that he was tweeting me back, and he just goes, "I'm at a funeral for a fireman," and I was like, he was trying to make me look like an asshole, but I was like, I'm not the one at a funeral.
Yes,
like why are you tweeting me?
I remember that.
Why are you tweeting me back at a funeral?
You were like, put your phone up and have respect.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you're not making me look bad. I'm at home. I'm playing Fortnite right now, and you're at a funeral for someone you're supposed to respect, and you're tweeting me back. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, it was just like when he talked to me, he was like, we could set this up, and then he never set it up, and then I called him again, and we had a conversation. He was like, we could set this up, and he never set it up, and then I started DMing him again, and he just never responded again. I was like, okay. So then I moved on to the short film because I was like, okay, well, if he's not going to listen, I'm going to make sure that other people listen because this isn't just Houston. This is everywhere. But we had footage of like Houston protests. Yeah. Some of that footage was from Houston protests. So I just wanted to put as much information in there as possible. And then also at the end, uplift Black people because I feel like there's a lot of content going out right now that's just sad. We're getting beat. We're getting killed. Sad, be sad. But I wanted to leave something like positive with people that look like me at the end of it, instead of just drowning them out with just this feeling of sorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, even getting funding for it, because I remember you saying like, I've got this idea. I don't know how it's gonna happen. How the funding come about?
So my job, I work at Juiceland. My job does this thing every year where it's like a scholarship thing. Basically, you write an essay about something that you're passionate about, and if they pick you, they give you money. They give you like, I think it was like $1,800 or $1,500, something like that, to fund whatever you're trying to do. And I wrote a project basically saying like, I've been out at these protests like every day. I've been out all night and then coming to work in the morning. Like, this is what I've been doing. I'm trying to make this film. I already made the music for it. I just want to make a film basically talking about what I've seen, what I've experienced, how I felt about the protests, how I felt about being a Black person in America. And I just don't have the money to make it. And I'd really appreciate like if I had the funding to do it. That's a very paraphrased version of what I wrote. But yeah, and then they came into I honestly forgot that I even like applied for the scholarship because it was months before. And then the owner of Juiceland, like there's like 4 locations in Houston. There's like 6 or 7 in Austin and stuff. He drove from Austin and brought me a check, and he was just like, he came up to Juiceland, and they just surprised me with a check. He was like, "Here you go, Dende, you won." And my first thought was, because I saw the check and it said Dende on it, and I was like, "Oh shit! I hope they don't think that's my real name because I can't." So, but thankfully, the real check didn't say Dende.
Oh, the real.
Yeah, the big check said Dende on it, but the real check said.
Shouts out to Juiceland.
Yeah,
so the big check's not like, it's not a real check. You can't do that with the big check.
You can't do nothing. I was like, "Can I have it?" And they were like,
Like, oh no, okay. They don't let you keep the big check.
No, because it's like dry erase.
I thought it was like okay.
They get one, and then
they just like
erase that shit.
Erase it
on. They go, there you
go. Shouts out to Juiceland.
Yeah,
like Jamba Juice that doesn't like Black people. I don't know if that's true or not, but
we can start that.
We can start it.
As long as you
say, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all ruining my spot?
As long as you say allegedly, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, you're right. No, I don't want that because then they're gonna, their media people are gonna get on their Instagram and be like, Jamba Juice has always cared about Black people. Like Martin Luther King will be drinking a juice. It's too much.
Tupac and Biggie will be sharing a Jamba Juice.
It really is. It's always hilarious watching all of the publicity that happens right around Black History Month.
Oh my God.
They're like, oh yeah, Black people. Okay.
McDonald's is the worst though. We be freestyling for a cheeseburger.
Boy.
I was
I'm loving it.
I was like, why does everybody get their like $1 burger and go to the roof? Like, why are y'all sitting on the roof? I'm like, I don't understand. Like, did you tuck this in your pocket and climb the ladder or whatever? But they're like, yeah, we got these $1 burgers. Let's sit in the cipher on the roof. And
I'm waiting to say nigga.
Yeah. So rap about my McDouble real quick. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's real cool. So you produced the film. What was the response? Because you premiered the film at full circle, because we were just talking about Hodge. You did it at Collect for the Culture. How did you like? How did you like the space, and how did you like that premiere?
First of all, that space was crazy. When I posted that I had funding, I hadn't even shot the film yet. But in India, the person that was like also doing it with Hodge, hit me and was like, "Hey, I saw that you're doing this film, and I'm trying to spotlight. We're trying to spotlight Black creatives that have been working during this pandemic and trying to get something going. Still, I want you to premiere it here if you're down with that, or just do some type of like I forgot what it's called. I'm not good at these art terms, but but yeah, she was just like, I want you to do something here. If you want to premiere it here, you can. And so after we actually shot it, she like trusted me, and I just like showed it. We had it on projectors. It was really, really cool. We had a good amount of people in there to just sit there and watch it. Before we premiered it, the first time I had ever seen the George Floyd footage was when we were editing it. I had never watched it. I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I watched it, I started crying. And I was like, Yeah, I know a lot of people have been avoiding watching this, and it's probably very triggering for some people, but some other people need to see this because those are the people that are saying he was no saint. And I don't think anybody deserves to lose their life. I don't care what they did. I don't think they deserve to lose their life like that.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
not for a $20 bill. I know that. So the reception was mostly positive. I had random people on YouTube comment like, "Oh, another one of these," and it's just like, okay, you gotta get those, bro.
They
But
call you what are they? What are the terms they always use? So like they're like, oh, you're virtue signaling. I was like, nah, uh, um, a man
mm,
died.
yeah, a
Like,
man lost his life.
you're
One of
like,
many. One of many lost his
yeah,
life,
yeah. And
and
I
we're
think
Just
that
said
talking.
another one of these to your movie, but didn't say another one of these to another Black life lost. That's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. But you know, it is what it is in those aspects. Those are the kind of people where I'm like, if you looked at that video, and I think until your movie, honestly, I had seen clips of it, but I never actually sat and
And
just
watched it.
watched it. And I mean, honestly, you heard about that. I mean, first of all, thank God he was found guilty. But you hear about
Mhm.
the jurors talking about having to watch that video, and I don't know how you can watch that and then be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's two sides. Like I was like there aren't two sides to that video. There's no 8 minutes and 35 seconds. There's no what did he do before. There's no like it's so long that you're just like, Doc, I don't care if he was like drop kicking babies or it like there's really it's not even a humor, but there's like nothing you can say at that point when you're like, Doc,
where it makes sense at all. It
yeah,
doesn't
I'm
make
like
sense.
8 minutes and 30 something seconds is forever
Yeah.
to watch it, let alone to have to know that somebody experienced that. So yeah, yeah. Uh, but all that to say, great job on the movie. Like
Thank
Yeah.
you.
it was an incredible piece of work. Are you trying to get full force in the filmmaking, or was this like a one off thing?
No, I want to act on the cool, but I do want to make more films. I want to start making more visuals for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried it out with this one. I tried it out with Socially Distant at first, um, and I really went for it with this one. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of do want to start doing films though, because I think it's another medium to get a point across. Because I can only do so much with music, um, as opposed to like putting something else together and like writing it out and making sure that what is in my head it gets to be seen as well as heard. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think I do want to like venture into that medium when I find
That's good.
the funding and the time to do it.
And I mean, you talked about, being angry. You talked about being sad, but the truth is, you're a very happy man. Uh,
100%.
segues us into the album. The
That's a great
album.
Yeah.
segue. It's a great
All
segue.
right. I guess, I mean, even when you look at the cover of the album, where it's you with this face, smiley face, plastered across, and given the year that we've gone through, it's and the style of music, like you said, like when you were talking about the single, dance, where it's you have this theme of putting on this face for other people. And so that's kind of I was like, oh, maybe the album is going in this direction. I'm not exactly sure. What are you trying to express with this album?
Well, let me start at the cover. So my mindset with that cover was another theme that was in my last project, Me, with Low, where it's just like even if you are happy, there's times when you're not. But me personally, I try to always keep that positive thing like the most public thing that people see. I try not to, which is why I didn't want to seem angry anymore.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I try to keep that happiness and that positivity like up front because I don't know, I just feel like my day is made more if I'm like outwardly being happy and positive. And maybe other people's are too. Like I try to tweet out or like post that I love everybody every once in a while just because I know some people don't hear that like at all. It's disheartening to see that. But this project, A Happy Man, it's kind of like yeah, I'm a happy man, but just because I'm happy doesn't mean I'm always happy. It doesn't mean I always have been happy, because there was a time in my life where I was not very happy at all, like any day. And I would go out and I would use comedy, which I still do, comedy to kind of like keep this positive face going. And like I tell jokes all day and I make people laugh and I laugh, but sometimes I'm not feeling that good. I'm not feeling happy. So really, I kind of portrayed that. Like there's a mixture of songs like detailing how I wasn't happy, and why I wasn't happy, and then there's songs that are just like extremely positive. Like the outro of the project is called "I Smile," and it's basically saying the things that make me smile, and telling people that if they are looking for a reason to be to stay alive, just to like think of all the things that make them smile. And then there's songs like "I Cried," where it's just about what made me cry in the past.
How long have you been working on this?
I started. Well, the first song I made on it is "Dark Skin," and I made that like beginning of the pandemic, but I
Yeah.
wasn't working on an album. Like I just made that song. I got because during like the beginning of the pandemic, at first I like kind of was disheartened about making music because it was just like I can't even do shows anymore. But then I started using Twitter and I linked with a bunch of amazing artists around like the United States. And I met an artist named Chris Patrick, who I've gotten to meet in person a few times now too.
Yeah.
But I got him on the song Dark Skin. He kept hitting me. He was like, "When are we dropping this song? When are we dropping this song?" And then finally I got to drop it with the visual with "In Case You Forgot I'm Black," but that's also on the project. So that song was made at the beginning of pandemic, but I didn't actually consciously start working on this album till say maybe November. Maybe November, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
because
about
I
right to
remember
me.
the last time we talked, you talked about not really being in the mood to make music. So
Yeah.
I was actually genuinely surprised that I was like, oh, he has a whole, because I said I saw a few singles leak out, and then I saw you on Twitter linking with other artists, but then you had the whole album. So what kind of got you back into album mode?
I don't know. I think I got inspired by all these other artists that because I was kind of keeping myself in Houston, which I feel like a lot of Houston artists do,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a downfall. A lot of Houston artists because there are a lot of really talented artists in the city, but we don't. We tend not to branch out because we want to blow. We want to blow in Houston. We want to stay Houston. We want to stay down for Houston. You can do that while working with other people though.
Yeah.
So once I started seeing all the talent out of like Jersey and Chicago and Florida and like I was just like, wow, these people are like crazy good. So it just kind of pushed me to make even better stuff. And then I was like, okay, I think I kind of have something going now. This is actually the first project where I collaborate with a bunch of people too. Like my
Yeah, I
past,
noticed that. I know,
I feel
and
like,
not only collaborate, but I mean, you're collaborating with a lot of people, like you were saying, outside of Houston. It's
mhm,
usually, I know the usual suspects that you're normally working with, and I
mhm,
didn't see that at first. I was like, oh, especially uh, Chris Patrick.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, especially him. I would see a lot of interaction between you and him. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're working on something.
Dog, Chris is amazing. Actually, we have a me, Chris, and an artist Byrie. We have like a EP that we're working on too. Just a joint EP to just to drop with all our music. We have a
Yeah,
bunch of songs together.
and I was wondering that what I mean, particularly just about like Chris Patrick. What was it about him, or what song did you hear, or what was it that you were like, this is somebody I want to work with? Because I mean, y'all do not live close.
At all. There was a snippet. The song is out now. It's called 3 a.m. But when I first saw him, it was a snippet going around on Twitter. And it was a song called 3 a.m. And he was just sitting like the video that was going around. There's a music video for it now, and the song's out, but
Yeah.
it wasn't out at the time. And it was just him sitting in like a studio room, like not a real studio, like somebody's bedroom, kind of like how I'm in right now. He was just sitting in front of a computer and he was singing this song, 3 a.m. It's like 3 a.m. and I still wanna, and it just got stuck in my head. And I just DM'd him. I was like, bruh, I really want to work with you. And I sent him like my pin tweet, which is still my pin tweet. And I was like, let's work on something. And he was like, oh, for sure. and then I just like listened to his whole discography, which is like it was at the time a bunch of singles. And I was like, every single one of these songs sounds like it would be on a soundtrack for like a movie.
Mm.
And I was like, I really like this guy. So I started working. He's really talented. So I started working with him. Um, Yeah, I really like Chris. He's dope.
Now, also the other thing too is, and you know, we kind of glossed over it. We didn't gloss over it, talking about some other stuff, but I mean that performance, one of the first performances, to get people out to vote, where you were at. Of course, we taking the shots at Art Acevedo and all that, but you were performing. You're opening up for the Suffers and Bun B, like that. That's a big thing. And like I said, we've seen you at Bounce and Turn. We've seen you at a lot of different stuff. Bounce and Turn. We've seen you at Axelrod or whatever. What's it like to keep seeing these bigger venues? And I mean, what's it like just performing there? Did you talk to the Suffers? Did you talk to Bun B? Were y'all socially distant?
I actually already knew Cam.
Yeah.
From the Suffers. Cam is really cool people. I talked to her. I introduced myself to Bun B, and that was the first time I met Bun B. And I introduced myself to him. We had like this big tent, and we had like the performers had their own section area, and we were sectioned off and socially distant. But I went over.
And then the beads ring, and it's funny if they're just falling slowly.
I was like, damn.
Last view. Oh my god.
But like seeing bigger stages and stuff is really cool, especially doing that one. I didn't even know I was on like a big screen until like I got like saw videos of it. That looked crazy. Just like the lighting, the sound was amazing. It just like invigorated me. And I was nervous at first because I hadn't performed in person in a while.
Yeah.
And as soon as I went up there, I was just like, bet. it was like I like felt it. I was like, I took a shot though. I had like a little Perso bottle in my pocket, and I took a shot, and then I was like, all right, bet. We're ready for that. It lit a spark in me though, for sure. I really I love to perform. That's like my favorite part of it. I love making the music, and I love putting it out, and I love people like saying they like it. But Johnson. I don't know if you know who Hobo Johnson is.
Do not.
But he's a rapper with the quotes. He like
as soon as they say cut.
The Kings. Every day, B. That's terrible. But yeah, I got engaged. It was it's a very humbling experience for somebody to say yes. Because I was like,
were you
damn,
afraid?
let
Were
this
you
girl say
afraid
no.
she might say no?
Nah, but there's always that chance.
Yeah,
Because then,
I've
and
been
then you're
together for a minute.
yeah, and then you're out in the cold for real because it's literally snowing. And then we got stuck there for an extra 3 days because that was like when we were about to fly back to Texas. That's when that freeze happened.
Yeah.
And the airport was closed, and no one would fly back to Texas. No airline would fly back to Houston at all.
Which is wild because you went to Colorado to finally see snow for real, and then it just happened here while you were gone.
When it happened,
Yep.
You didn't have to fly all the way.
I didn't have to fucking use my miles, dude.
Here's a quick,
I just got those miles.
Here's the other thing in terms of the engagement, because I feel like when you're about to ask somebody to marry you, and this is just from me looking on Twitter because I haven't done it. You got to make a decision. Is it going to be public or is it going to be private? Like, were you thinking this in your head, or did you already know? Like, nah, this ain't.
Yeah, I just kind of I recorded it so that she can see it, but I didn't post that. I just posted our picture together and was like, "Yeah, we got engaged. Tell her congratulations." Because I just fucking play. I just play.
No. Honestly, that's good because I always feel like people that propose at like baseball stadiums. I'm always like,
this is for people, and I know that she wouldn't like that. Like, if I were to have like a show and then just be like, "Hey, come up and fucking get this ring, girl." Like, I know she wouldn't like that, so I wanted to go somewhere like we could be by ourselves and do that, and I wanted to make it special for her.
That's funny.
And
I
special
see
for
you.
both
If
of us.
love is a drug and you are your
Because in that's weird. Like, it feels like I'm not knocking anybody that does like public stuff like that, but it seems like it's more for likes than it is for y'all at that.
I'm knocking it. I knock it all the time.
I'm knocking
like
it too.
one. I feel like whoever you're asking, they look like a hostage. I don't care if they're happy or not. I was like, yo, this could be some kind of. I never know. Also, I'm always like, Doug, you're taking away from. We're trying to get back to the game. Like, come on, like this is the. Especially when you pay. Like, I paid my hard-earned money, and I thought we were gonna have a decent halftime show. Like, where are the Zumba grandmas that come out and do their little thing? That kind of like. Usually, I get something. But no, I gotta wait for you.
Watch this
come
fucking
out
jack off fucking ass
with this obvious proposal. Like it's like I'm looking at seat 33C, and everything zooms in. I'm like, that's too much pressure.
You niggas hate love.
I hate. No.
I love love, but I hate PDA.
Exactly. I hate public love. I hate all forms of public love.
Keep that shit to yourself, fam.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
I feel the same way. It's funny though, like bringing it back. It's funny that you, our first interview, you was like, "Yo, I tweeted, will she, suffocate me booty cheeks
with a booty cheek?" That's different. That's different than the public proposal.
No, that's different than public love. That's real love.
Definitely different than public proposal.
Because I feel like you, I hate PDA too. Even to the point, unless I'm drinking, I can't front. I'm a terrible person when I'm drinking. But like when I'm in the mall,
when you're drinking, you like to participate in PDA or you like to see PDA?
I participate in PDA.
Okay.
Yeah, if he sees like a couple making out, he's like, "Hey, you guys looking for a third?"
Yeah, throuple?
You guys.
Throuple.
Y'all want chocolate thunder up in here? Is that what we doing?
Chocolate thunder. I'm like, I'm trying to get in on this. No, I don't like PDA at all. I don't like PDA to the point where I'm like, Doug, unless it's a porn, we don't need the sex scene for your movie. A sex scene has never furthered the story of any movie
never does.
Ever.
It's so weird.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. Somebody's always like, yeah, we really had to do this to further the story. Did you?
They just wanted to have a sex scene.
I just don't understand. I don't understand what the point is because you're just taking away from Optimus Prime battling Megatron. Like, we need to get back to the story. Like, I just don't understand how. We got to see Megan Fox for a second, and now what? Like, no, I don't need it.
Speaking of
randomness.
speaking of
we interview people and we talk about everything. And that's why we like Dende though, because Dende can catch it right back. He knows what to do.
Speaking of Optimus Prime, what is that? Transformers. I said something on my podcast the other day, and I was like, it was a joke, but it sounds funny to say. And I was like, I don't even. Somebody asked me if I heard a singer, and I was like, I don't subscribe to white art anymore. And then Trevor, and I was obviously joking, but Trevor, the white person that's on cap, my friend Trevor, he goes, I mean, I don't blame you. White art at this point is basically just another Avengers movie. So I don't even. And I thought that was.
He's right though.
It's just another Avengers movie.
He's right.
That's on the Cap-A-Lot podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
He is right though. White art is Avengers movies. Are they still doing that?
Are they still
trying to think the truly great white? Ah man, I don't know. We got too deep because Tucker Carlson's podcast is gonna find us and point this out. Like,
Tucker
look
Carlson
at these
has a
leftists
podcast?
talking about white art. I don't know.
That's fine with me, Tucker.
I'm always afraid that somebody with just malintentions from like that side of the world is gonna find a clip and be like, look at these communist leftists. And I was like, dog, we were just laughing about the Avengers, and now there are 400,000 of your followers in my DMs calling
bad publicity is
beta.
No publicity is bad publicity though, bro. That's why I say the most ridiculous stuff I can think of.
That's true.
Makes sense.
That's true. I'm not thinking about the publicity. I'm thinking about my phone
DMs.
I'm thinking about my phone battery. I think like that's the things I think about. Like we've never gone viral, but that's the major concern I have. Like I was like reaching in my pocket. I was like, I was just at 98%. Like why am I at 4? And then it dying before I can figure out what I said or what was like what happened. So yeah, that's my only concern about it. But you're right. No, and you say some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, all the time. I love it. It's fun. I feel like the internet is. For a while I was being just so serious on it, but like I like to be funny on there. I feel like everybody takes the internet so seriously. Like Twitter is a joke. Twitter's a joke, bro. Like I'll go on there and say I got the MasterCard vaccine. Like I go on there and say crazy stuff like all the time, and I just think that's what you're supposed to do. Like you're not supposed to go on there and give your dissertation. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one actually cares. Like, just go on there and make a joke, and then when people get mad about it, make fun of them.
Exactly. I'll be in the comments just like being serious. Like, yeah, I'm being serious with that person. If they're serious with me, I'm like, yeah, nigga, I believe you. Like, just say the dumbest shit, whatever. It doesn't matter.
We've been claiming that we're sponsored by MasterCard on Cap-A-Lot. We're definitely not. We're gonna get like some legal trouble for that. But but I keep saying
or you'll get a sponsorship by MasterCard. It could happen.
I don't think they like the things we've been saying about them.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. We should probably start because we've taken so many shots at them. We've taken shots at Mattress Firm, Arby's, and Long John Silver's.
What's wrong with Arby's?
I'm sorry.
Come on, bro. I talked to you specifically about the Arby's thing, Dende. I talked to you.
Let's
about Arby's.
You said
this nigga likes Arby's, Divine. This nigga eats Arby's.
Okay. No, because here's my thing. It's not that I dislike Arby's. I don't have a lot of knowledge of Arby's.
They have the meats. I know that.
That I know. That's my ultimate concern. Like here, have you ever heard of Jollibee?
Yes, I have. I've been.
So you have heard of Jollibee. Now here's the thing, right? What does Jollibee have?
Spaghetti, hamburgers, chicken nuggets, fish fillets, whatever you fucking want, dude. If you bring Oreos in there, they'll fry them for you.
Spaghetti, and one of their things, their combo meals are like fried chicken and spaghetti with cut up hot dogs. Now I see Avery's face because he does not know about Jollibee's, and that makes sense.
I do know about it.
Oh, you knew about Jollibee's? For the people that don't, because I know every time I bring up Jollibee's, nobody knows them, and that makes sense because nobody should, right? That's my problem. If Jollibee's had a national marketing campaign and they were doing things like, I don't know, buying Buffalo Wild Wings, I'd be concerned. I'd be concerned about the amount of drug money that is flowing through Jollibee's.
So people love Arby's, bro.
Do people love Arby's?
I like their business model. They were the first of all these little major chains that started adapting into the weebs, because weebs are taking over the world. People don't know, if people that don't know what weebs are, it's the anime fans.
Oh,
Arby's was the first I saw posting like that they were giving away these like origami like anime figurines and stuff with meals. They were the first ones I saw adapting anime.
really?
Like, yes, they were the first I saw. So that already had me. I already liked Arby's before that, but I was like,
wait. So they're adapting that. Can they adapt better food? Because I've had it and it's trash.
Wait. When is the last time that you had Arby's, Avery?
I've had Arby's probably the last time I had it was, I try things usually like every 6 months, probably about 4 months ago.
Oh, you had Arby's 4 months ago?
Yeah, because the thing is, I like to think about like what things are and like how your taste buds change. And so, you know, and it was near. So I was like, and I also had Jollibee, whatever. So
I had okay. So we got to sit down, and I haven't had Arby's or Jollibee. I got to try them out.
You tripping, bro?
I'm one of those people that likes to judge things by sight. I like, you know, when they're like, don't judge a book by its cover. That's how you read books. All right, that's literally how you read books.
That is how you
go walk into a bookstore. Go try to buy a book without a jacket on it. Like, you don't know what's in there. So I saw fried chicken and cut up hot dogs and spaghetti and a bee as their mascot, and I said, "Nah, I'm good."
I'm not advertising. I'm not advocating for that place.
And Arby's, Arby's is aggressive. Ving Rhames yelling, "We have to eat me" every time over a Pusha T beat it's concerning. Like, it's really concerning to me. Like, I'm like, Doug,
this is awesome to me. There's a lot of there's a couple. I don't eat beef and pork, so I don't eat their like other stuff, but I only eat like the chicken and maybe turkey sometimes. So I can't attest for the other type of like the beef.
So it makes sense why you eat Arby's, because where else you gonna get that stuff?
You don't eat the meats.
Yeah.
You don't even eat the meats. You eat like
the meats, dude.
I didn't even realize Arby's did that chicken and stuff until old boy from Bob's Burgers was doing those commercials. It's like, we got chicken and we got not Bob from Bob's Burgers, but the guy that does the voice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I like that guy. I like that guy.
It is Bob.
Yeah, Bob. But yeah, I didn't realize it. But we'll have to get together. We'll have to do a whole thing. We had this idea with another guest
from Arby's.
We can do a Twitch.
We can do it together.
Dende Hour Arby's and Jollibee's, because I want to get both of them. We'll get everything on the menu, everything, and we'll try out Arby's.
I'm down for that. That's some good content.
Although Arby's and Joe, we do. I let me not say everything, because these places seem like they have super expansive menus. Like, I just don't understand.
We'll get the chicken and we'll get, like some stuff. But yeah,
Arby's had a Thanksgiving sandwich, and it was like cranberry sauce, deep fried turkey, cheese, crazy sandwich, man. Stuffing, crazy.
Arby's had a sandwich, that like meat-tastic sandwich, that apparently had your sodium content for 2 days. Like,
that's how I like to eat my meals. I like to pack it in.
I'm telling you right now, 2 days worth of sodium is anti-black. Like, I'm tell you right now. And I bet if we trace back who owns Arby's, it's probably like David Duke or something like that. He's like, that's how we're gonna get it.
Definitely.
We're gonna make a sandwich with 2 days worth of salt. We're just gonna sell it to him. So yeah. No, I'm down. I'm definitely going to try this out. I got to make sure my doctor doesn't listen to this podcast, but I'm only going to try a bite of that one.
Your doctor doesn't listen to this podcast.
He doesn't. He doesn't even listen to me. So yeah, we're good. We're good. So Dende, I mean, tell us where we can find like all of your stuff, everything.
Man, I have a bunch of social medias. I have like 6 Twitters, and no, I'm just playing. I have like 3 Twitters though. I have 3 Twitters and 4 Instagrams, and I have 1 Facebook. But you can find everything, and 3 YouTubes. You can find everything on my website, www.imdende.com. Follow me on Instagram at IamDende, and on Twitter at Dende is me. I'm working on getting I am Dende back. I used to have I am Dende. I had to delete that Twitter, and they won't let me have it. Nobody took it. Once you delete a Twitter, they don't let you take that username again. So I have to like contact Twitter and try to get it back. I had it originally, but I
really,
yeah, it's crazy. It's dead. Like if you search for it, no one has it. But they won't let me have it, so I have to contact them.
Yeah, Twitter's really funny about that.
Yeah, but you can find me on my website. I'm Dende.com. You can find everything. All my music's on every streaming platform. I got 2 podcasts, all cap, where we just try to say the most inflammatory statements and see if anybody gets mad. And then Dende Hour, where we get a little bit more serious, but I still say inflammatory things.
Did you say inflammatory things when you had your dad on the show?
Oh, of course. Of course. I started leading him down a rabbit hole of Joel Osteen, and
oh man,
it was great because I think Joel Osteen is a charlatan and he deserves to be in jail. But as someone that thinks that church is conning people out of money is hilarious, I think he's great.
Okay. We're really on the same page on that. I tell people all the time. I'm like, no, like people are like, "Are you mad at Joel Osteen?" I'm like, no more than I'm mad at like I don't know the dude that wrote Avengers. Like, I was like, look, if you want to pile up in a room and follow a guy that said he knows some stuff, have at it.
Cool, man.
Power to you.
Have at it. Sorry, Mom. She don't listen to this, so it's whatever. I still believe in God. I just don't believe in Joel. I also don't think he needs a jet.
I believe in Joel. That was one of the things that we talked about though was these people having jets, and I remember Creflo Dollar was trying to get his congregation. Well, not trying. He got his congregation.
He got it
for his jet and his jet fuel to go to another church and stuff. And
yeah,
I just thought that was amazing. It was awesome. I think
but that's why I tell people all the time, like, look, believe what you want to believe, and I know people get mad at Creflo and Joel and those people that are supporting them, but I'm like, Doug, that's what they want to do. Like, it's literally like when you're like, hey, if you don't like something, turn it off. I was like, yo, I don't even go there. Like, I'm not going there on Sunday. Like, look, if you want to get up on Sunday and give your money to a man so he can have a jet to go from one spot in the city to another spot in the same city,
yeah.
Doug, have at it. And I wish he would teach me how. Like,
I'll tell you how to do it, man.
I'll tell y'all anything. To get a helicopter, if I can have a helicopter to go from like
let's start a church. Church is like the live version of OnlyFans. So let's be out here. Let's go.
Yo, wait. First of all, did y'all see that Joel Osteen's church got millions of dollars in COVID relief funding, which I thought was hilarious. But another thing I said to my dad was, I think that he should be allowed to do whatever he wants to do. I don't think that what he's doing is wrong. I think it's morally wrong, but that's subjective. I don't think it's wrong. I was like, I think that they should have to put the same type of like Surgeon General warning that they put on cigarettes, because they put you're gonna get fucking cancer from these, but people still smoke them. So you should have to put in the little program you get when you walk in the church. Hey, everything I'm saying up here is kind of bullshit. I just want your money, and people are still gonna go.
I'm not even going that far.
Could be.
I'm not even gonna go that far and say they need a warning on, because you can say whatever you want to say. The only thing I ever wanted to do is just pay taxes. Now, if you just pay taxes. I don't care what you want to do. You want to open up a car wash? You want to open up a church? You want to open up? Just pay taxes. You pay taxes. You can do whatever you want to do. Because I'm like, you're getting jets and all this stuff. So you preach where the Rockets used to play, and you got that. Yeah, I'm sorry, you got that building for a steal. Because here's what happens when a city buys a stadium, and the team no longer uses it. Do you know there aren't a lot of buyers for empty stadiums out there? Like, they're like, yeah, we'll sell this to you at like, I don't know.
You tell with the Astrodome right over there. Like, exactly. You tell, brother.
That's what I'm saying. I was like that. And that's what's wild. If a preacher came down here and wanted to buy the Astrodome, get it at like
$100.
A quarter of the price. A quarter. They're like, man, look, we didn't even know what to do with it.
They wouldn't let us tear this bitch down.
Yeah, they're like, last year, man, we just sold
million.
We just sold the chairs. Like, we auctioned them off. Like, it's wild where you're like, you build a stadium, and then once it's done, you're like, yeah, we can't do nothing with this. Like, okay, that's cool. All right, well, y'all can have it. So yeah, I just want preachers to pay taxes. All preachers. It's not just Joel. I mean, even your local neighborhood preacher, just pay your taxes. I'll be cool with you.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So yeah, this has been wild and rambling.
Wild ride. It's been a wild ride.
This has been a wild
I
ride.
hope people really understand. One, Dende's been on this show a number of times. We've had him on the show a number of times because we really do like his talent. The music is good. I'm telling you, when I looked at my brother and I said, "This kid's got it," and I took that cigar out of my mouth, raised my eyebrow, I was serious. Like, anytime I played your music for people, they're like, "Yo, who is this? What part of Los Angeles is he from?" You know, so I was like, he must be in the real music industry. And I'm like, nah, he's from Katy. And they're like, oh, okay. So yes, no. Please get out there, buy the album, get one of the available 98 vinyls, and you know, that's just pretty much it.
Go to Arby's because they need your support.
This
episode is brought to you from Arby's.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now.
This episode was brought to you by Arby's. I'm saying it now.
I'll tell you right now. Arby's doesn't need our support, but we're gonna do it with, in my humble opinion, and I don't know, all cap or Dende hour, we're gonna do something with Arby's. And Joe, and we're gonna do something with Jollibee. Not because I'm hating on Jollibee. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I drive by, I'm like, maybe fried chicken and spaghetti with cut up hot dogs is good.
Okay.
And we're gonna do something with Joel Osteen.
Yes.
You want to get a bunch of food and then eat right in front of the church?
Yeah. Sit in the parking lot. Eat
and
right
then it's
there.
gonna come full circle because we're gonna get arrested, and then we can start taking shots at Art Acevedo again. So,
that guy's already out of here. I think.
He is. He's long gone. So, you know, okay.
Full circle is what it is. That's what we've done with this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you enjoy Dende, actually, everybody. I mean, multi-talented gentleman. He's got a Happy Man coming to you, you say, on your birthday of May 8th, correct?
Yes, sir.
There we go. So once again, man, this has been another episode with Avery, like a very nice guy, and Devon, just Devon, and also I am Dende, ladies and gentlemen, and humbly yours, in my humble opinion podcast. Thank you guys and good night. H-Town is too sweet, and fuck Arby's, man. Fuck Arby's. I want that shit.
Whoa.
Right?
If Arby's sponsored us, you would be in a full Arby's camo.
We've said much worse. All right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you'd be in an Arby's.
Gave up Dr. Dre sponsorships.
Did I give up a Dr. Dre sponsorship?
We've said a lot of bullshit. Yeah, so
you're right.
Fuck Arby's.
You're right.
All right.
But also,
H-Town's too sweet.
Like we say with everybody, if you pay us money, we will go back on our principles.
For real.
All that matters.
That's solid business.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that is solid business. That's how you're supposed to do it.
All right, then, y'all. Good night.